much for agreeing to do this. So is there anything you'd like to say before I get into the questions?
I would like to say thank you so much for inviting me today, and I'm really glad to be speaking with STEMM4Girls. I myself is running a community for girls that's called InfosecGirls. So we train girls, students, and women on cybersecurity. So it's amazing to be part of STEMM4Girls as well.
All right, thank you so much, ma'am. Okay, so my first question to you is, what exactly is your background, and what were the subjects you took up, say, in your 11th and 12th, and how exactly did you choose that, this is what you want to do?
So when I talk about my 10th and 12th, I had science. And
Right.
the fun part was I had bio and maths together.
Okay.
So that's like a cross path. Because
Right.
at that particular time, you don't know what you really want. Some students. So I had no clue that what I really want to do, whether I want to be an engineer, whether I want to be be a doctor, but I just wanted to opt science, and then um, just wanted to go about it. But I think that was like a biggest mistake, I would say, at that time, which got rectified over the years. But I learned a lot as well. So that was the thing. And then I did my graduation from non tech. It was a tech, but it was not really a tech background. And then I did my MBA as well. So I was not sure that I'll be taking a cybersecurity as a career, or I would say that I was not aware that cybersecurity can be a career.
Okay.
So it just happened to me. It was all serendipity that when I happened to be in my first job at Wipro,
Right.
I was asked to be in this profile, and over the years I started liking this profile, and I realized that I have a passion for cybersecurity, and this is something wherein, or a domain, or a area, I would say, not a domain but an area,
Right.
which keeps me going every day. There's something new every day that is there, and there's something different.
Right.
Yeah, I think there's someone who's on speaker. Okay, so that's when I got introduced to cybersecurity, and here I am. It's been 15 years in this industry, and just thriving in this industry, loving the way people are treating, there's a respect that is there, and this is the most close community, or the warm community, I should say, warm community I have got, and the peeps around are really amazing. I've learned a lot.
Okay, that is absolutely wonderful. All right. So you've done your MBA from Symbiosis. So what did you enjoy the most when you were over there?
I enjoyed the place and the name itself says about the experience. It's symbiosis.
Right.
So the place broadened my perspective and horizon,
Okay.
and uh, introduced me to different arena, wherein it it made me confident, the
Hmm.
person I am today,
Right.
because you do so many presentations, you connect with a lot of people. So it was a great experience. And similarly, I was in Pune, so Pune was Pune was very welcoming for me.
Correct.
So yeah, that was really amazing for me. That was one part which made me feel that yes, Pune is home. And then Symbiosis itself, the lecturers, the professors, everyone was so warm, and I could connect with them.
Right. Right. All right. That is absolutely amazing. Okay. So my next question to you is, how exactly do you think STEM will progress in the coming years?
STEM will progress a lot. I would say that people are talking about that STEM is important. Every organization which I know of is talking about STEM, that it is important. We need to have more girl students and women in technology.
Absolutely.
So and it has to be inculcated from the roots itself,
Correct.
because people have been saying that tech is for men and kitchen is for women, or there are so many things that are there. But now it's reversed, I would say. I have seen my friends who are amazing chefs, and I have seen women who are amazing at robotics, like I know Fifi Lee. So I was reading about her, I was so impressed. So it's not that wherein people used to have those misconceptions that are changing, and people are talking about that, yes, we need to promote STEM, we need to go ahead and educate people about it. And when we start early, it
Mm.
becomes even more important, it becomes meaningful, because um, 10%, or there was one survey by Women's Web wherein it highlights that there are only 10% of the women who opt for engineering in
Okay.
India, and out of which there's like 0.5% who stays in cybersecurity, if I have to say. Now
Oh,
talk about those 10%. uh,
right.
10% we have to increase, and
Correct.
the women who choose for STEM, we need to make sure they stay, because they have to stay for long.
Right.
We have to make them warm, make them comfortable. Yes, this is the place for you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So my next question to you is that how exactly did you decide that you wanted to do your MBA right after your graduation?
Okay, this was something very fascinating for me. Like now, kids are more aware, they
Right.
pre-plan things, but
Right.
that time we did not have much of a technology, we did not have phones with the internet, and even the internet, I would say, that
Mm.
was very slow, it was a dial-up connection, so we were not too much exposed. But
Okay.
MBA used to be like a fancy word, like
Okay.
yes, you should do MBA, it's a good career opportunity.
Right.
But what I realized after joining, like that was that used to be a thing, and then as soon as I cleared my graduation, I wanted to go for MBA. But
Okay.
over the years, I realized, and while I was doing my MBA, that I learned a lot of concepts which I might not have learned by doing any other course. I
Right.
learned management skills, and then there are certain self development activities that you do during that time, how to handle critical situations.
Correct.
That I learned in MBA. So that really helped me in my journey, that how
Mm.
to stay calm, composed in any situation, even if there's a fire burning, how
Right.
will you handle yourself? Then only you'll be able to save yourself, rather than uh, something would bad would happen. So all those situations, scenario based, and then extempore helped me, that even if you ask me to
Mm.
be on stage without not knowing anything about the topic, if you just tell me that this is the topic that you're going to talk about, I
Right.
can go on the stage and speak for hours. And especially cybersecurity, I can speak for like days.
Of course. Okay, that's
Yeah.
amazing. All right. So my next question to you is, since you've done an MBA and then you got into cybersecurity, so how exactly did you figure out, or why did you shift from something like a management degree, after which people usually say work in corporates, or they go ahead and start their own ventures? How did you decide that cybersecurity is the right thing for you, and why did you shift to it?
Um, this was okay. It was not a decision. I would say that I wanted to be in tech for sure,
Right.
because even when I took science, and then um, I realized that whenever I used to read articles,
Mm-hmm.
it it always made me feel that yes, this is what I wanted to do.
Right.
And then when I was given an opportunity to work at Wipro, like my first job, I felt okay, yes, I have achieved something, and I'm going to stay in this field. And suddenly I was introduced to, like, the project was getting over, and then they told me that you have to be in this particular project. I was like, okay, I've never read anything about cybersecurity. How I'm going to manage? But
Right.
then people around helped me in sustaining that,
Okay.
and then say cybersecurity became my passion.
Uh-huh.
Then just a job. Like it made me feel who I am. It made me think in a different perspective. Like if you tell me anything I about technology or even normal life, I think that how we can be secure, what all things we should be doing, what if there's something that wrong might be happening. So all those things, I became more aware about myself and the surroundings.
Correct. Okay, that's amazing. All right. So this will be my last question to you, which means that the audience which is there, they can start typing in their questions. And after ma'am has finished answering this last question, she will be answering those. All right. So my last question to you is, do you have any final piece of advice you would like to give to us budding boys and girls in STEM? Ma'am, you're still on mute.
Sorry about that. So I would say be curious, be inquisitive. That's the mother of all. when you're curious about something, when you want to learn something different, something new that's coming your way, you've half conquered it already. So stay curious, stay inquisitive, and the world is yours to explore.
Right. Okay. That was some very wonderful piece of advice. It was very insightful. All right. So I'll wait for some questions. And before they come in, so we did this thing on Instagram wherein we ask our followers for, questions. So over there, we
Mm-hmm.
have a bunch of questions. So I'd like to ask you some of them. So, okay. People have already started asking. Do you think, Rajshri has asked, what do you think is the future of AI in cybersecurity?
Mm-hmm. Actually, there's a huge, I would say, there's a big future out there in AI plus cybersecurity, because AI, artificial intelligence, is something which people are talking about, and we are taking help from artificial intelligence and the things around it. So when we are working on these technologies, if we wrap with security, it
Mhm.
becomes more handy, more safe, and helpful for the community, for the industry, for any country. So AI and cybersecurity talks are going on, that how we can embed cybersecurity to AI, and what are the things that can be done around it with AI, not just with AI, but ML as well, or IoT devices, like we have ACs which can be switched on and off from anywhere. We have washing machines, all the internet connected device. We have watches. So how they can be made secure.
Absolutely, right, right. Makes a lot of sense. Okay. Mansi has asked, what are the upcoming career opportunities in cybersecurity?
So anything that you do can have cybersecurity embedded to it. And I just spoke domain, but it's not a domain. It's more of a place wherein, or a kind of a zone which you can fit anywhere. Talk
Okay.
about your mobile phones. You
Yeah,
have your mobile phones, and I'm sure you must have some pin or some pattern or something on your phone to make sure that nobody reads your messages, right?
right, right.
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 So passcode, right? So if you have a what you call it as
Right.
pattern can be hacked easily. Yeah, somebody can bypass it. But now if you have a 6-digit passcode,
Hmm.
people it will be difficult for people to remember. It will be difficult for malicious users to crack it.
Right.
And why do we use thumbprint? Thumbprints are unique, right? Biometrics. So there's a huge opportunity when we talk about cybersecurity. If you are into development, you can code securely. That's called secure code review, so that when the application goes to production, it's safe. Then you might be a functional tester, which is, you call it as, you are testing the application before going to production. That's like exact replica of your application, because you can't test things in production. Production is nothing but on the internet. You can't test it. So that's one career. You have a database where you are storing your users. Like if you are in school, I'm sure
Hmm.
school will be maintaining some database.
Right.
So that can be secure. So there are multiple career options. Anything that you see around in technology that can have a cyber security, like we can just
Yeah,
embed security around it.
absolutely, absolutely. All right. So Rajshri has asked, so then what would you say about the entire topic of, so it's a follow-up to the AI question, the entire topic
Hmm.
of AI occupying human jobs in the future, is that going to happen anytime soon?
No, trust me, it is never possible. Human has created AI is only helping us
Right.
finding the things. It's not going to take humans job, because the one thing that human can does is uh, think differently. AI might be able to find solution, but there are a lot of ways which AI cannot take a step further.
Right.
There can be computer, there can be robots, but the human's job can only be done by humans. So it's only going to help us in a positive way. I would say it's going to make positive differentiation in my perspective.
Correct. Okay, that's amazing. Hiba has asked, did you improve your knowledge about cybersecurity through research websites? I think the question is, how do you improve your knowledge, especially at this age? Like we are happy enough to have someone like you can explain to us. But I mean, even
Mhm.
at your time, how I think you were not that well aware of cybersecurity as you spoke about it. So even in our day and time, what are the say websites or what are the research, how exactly can we get involved in cybersecurity at this age?
Mhm. There are a lot of people who are posting their research, and I would say this is one area wherein if I know something, I'm going to tell the whole world that I know, I have done this.
Right.
You can also do it. Cybersecurity is that area, and that's when uh, researchers are becoming more aware about it. And I do read a lot of blogs. Like you will see, I would read one blog at least every day. There's something new that I want to know about. There are so many security sites wherein you can read about the latest and greatest happenings. So
Mhm.
the one website is Threatpost,
Okay.
which I go. Then there's another one which is Bleeping Computer, and they always post about if there's a new bug in any application, in any network, if there's a company that has got breached, or what we can do to safeguard ourselves.
Right.
So all these things, and not just that, but there are people whom I follow on Twitter, on LinkedIn. They keep posting about their write-ups, they keep writing those blogs, so I make sure that I spend some time and read their blogs and what they have to say. And it only gives me a perspective, so I just don't go blindly by that, but it gives me a perspective that, okay, if they are doing it this way, can it be done differently?
Correct.
So I always think in that direction. So there's one thing I've learned over the years, that do not idolize anyone.
Right.
Take motivation from them.
Absolutely. Yeah, makes a lot of sense. Rather than completely basing your opinion on what someone else has said, try to analyze what he or she has said with what you think, and just overall gauge all kinds of perspectives. Makes a lot of sense. Okay. So,
Right.
has asked, what are the top cyber risks in that many company face?
There are a lot of risks, but I would start that the first risk they face is from the humans. Like human is the weakest link in any organization. We tend to share our details with people. Right now I can see Serene, Sevanshi, and I can see Himanshi. So once I start talking with Himanshi, I start asking that, Himanshi, what do you do, how many team members you have, and how many people you have at home, where do you stay, all of the. So I would start doing social engineering. It's a kind of a domain or a field wherein I start getting to know about Himanshi, and I might craft something around that.
Correct.
Um, and then I might try and find the details from the internet. So you might have post a picture which is public. So I might want to do open source intelligence on you, that what have you posted online and what all information can I get from you.
Correct.
So I would try and get as much as information about you. So it makes me curious that what's happening in the industry, what people are learning. Right now, people are talking about zero trust. But what is a zero trust? It doesn't mean that don't trust at all, but just create shorter trust boundaries
Right.
to safeguard your organization. So what those new talks which are going on, and what I can learn from that, and how I can educate people in the most simpler ways, so that they can relate to it.
Yeah.
That's one thing which makes me stay in this field. And the people who are so supportive, and uh, let's say if I want to know about a topic, I will just say that this is information that I've got from the internet, and this is where I'm facing issues, so can you help me out, and they're going to help out.
Right. Right. All
Yeah.
right. Okay. So Mansi asked the same question, so I'll ignore that. And Hafsa has asked, can we opt AI for engineering in our higher studies?
Absolutely, you can. See, any technology that you learn is always going to help. So if I talk about my journey, I started off being just 1 year in the development, and then moved to cybersecurity, and that was network security. So network security was the area, and then from network security, I was asked to be in application security, because there was a resource crunch, and I learned that in 3 months, and then went ahead. And suddenly, I was asked to take care of the whole cyber security for one of the organizations. So I learned incident response and whatnot.
Hmm. All right. Wonderful.
So you can.
Okay. Absolutely. All right. So Rajshri has asked, what according to you is the most interesting aspect of cybersecurity?
It connects you to the world, and it lets you save the world at the same
Right.
time.
Absolutely. Okay. So someone else had asked through the Instagram sticker, as I mentioned when we did that. what are your views on Pizzagate? So, are you aware of the entire Pizzagate thing wherein they tried to sabotage the elections by leaking some of the emails? So, I mean, when things like Pizzagate happen and even the entire Cambridge Analytica thing. So, what is your
Mm-hmm.
view on all these kind of events that happen? And Pizzagate is still a conspiracy theory, but the Cambridge Analytica thing properly happened, and there were like sittings in the court wherein Mark Zuckerberg was called, and there were proper discussions done on that entire data thing. So, what are your views or what are your thoughts on that?
I would say that there are things which have been told during those sittings. So my view is that we have to start the privacy first. Like we have to take care of our own privacy first, understand what, and it's not just about Cambridge Analytica. It can be any website, it can be any application, because we are on so many social media handles. So how to safeguard ourselves. We cannot just say that we are on Twitter and Twitter is going to safeguard from everything. If you don't have a multi-factor authentication, who's going to safeguard your credentials? If you give it to your best friend, and then from there it goes on, and people log into your account. So
Right,
the first thing I would say that let's safeguard ourselves, understand the privacy settings. It's very important for everyone to understand that there are privacy settings in every application, and enable them.
hmm.
You don't have to make everything public. Even if you want to be a social media star, you have to make sure that you safeguard yourself.
Right,
You have your right privacy settings. You have to have the kind of, like the multi-factor I talked about, right? And what all apps you're giving access to.
right,
For example, there was one app which was a calendar app. I gave access from my mail account, and I got an email saying that this particular calendar app was part of one of the breach, and you should remove the access. So
oh,
I immediately, as soon as I got the notification, I did it, because I enabled those check boxes. I made sure that I keep a check on all the access that I give. Like from Facebook, we do
yeah,
give access to so many gaming websites or gaming apps. So keep a check on that. If you are not using those apps, remove your access, and
correct.
that becomes our responsibility. We cannot blame everyone. There are things that organization needs to take care, but
Right.
there are few things which we ourselves have to be aware about our own security.
Right, right. Fair enough. Okay, perfect. So someone else from those Instagram stickers had also asked that, so a lot of the audience which is here, we guys are in from the ninth to the 12th grade. We guys are just about to go to university. So
Mm-hmm.
especially in a country like, in like not even a country, basically in the entire American system, if you are an international student, there are a lot of things that we guys are supposed to follow, in the sense they tell us to not put anything anti, US government, anti even Indian government, because they're going to go through everything. So all of this going through everything, even if you have a private account on say Instagram or even your mails, still they manage to somehow track your data. So is there any way this can be controlled? In fact, it's not even about the US. I just realized that I think a day ago or 2 days ago, there was some Navy officer who shared a cartoon of the Shiv Sena, and he was beaten up. So how exactly can you control people from seeing what you're putting, or just even though you have a private account, how can they trace your data?
See, I am sure when you have a private account, you might have allowed some people, correct? So
Right,
somebody might have taken a screenshot from there and posted it somewhere. Like taking a screenshot, posting it somewhere can go, right? And
right,
anything that you do on anything that you share on social media, it could be WhatsApp as well,
right,
that can go anywhere. You don't know where it's going to go. So always make sure that you think before you forward any information further. If you think that it's not relevant, it should not go further. Always verify the fact where it has come from, because it's only going to increase the rage. It's not about I'm not a person who share the political views, or I don't want to share my political views about anything. I'm very clear about it. So when I talk about someone posting a hawk message or a wrong message, that can impact people. Like at the COVID times, I can see that there was some video which was flooding around, wherein people are dying on the roads in Italy, which was not true. That was something else, like long back, and people are throwing bodies in the water. That was like not correct. It was all, if you reverse engineer all those videos, if you start searching about those images, you will find that those images were not at all related to that.
Right.
So I would say it becomes that first thing, our responsibility not to forward anything which you feel that it might not be right, or it
Right.
might impact people. Second, rather than mass spamming, let's verify the facts whether it's true or not. Third thing, that how you can safeguard yourself. uh, on Facebook, I have seen people allowing anyone and everyone, or even on Instagram, even though you have a what you call it as a private account. Even I have a private account, but then sometimes you allow people whom you don't know, or you feel that we have the same interest, let's allow them.
Right.
But that's not always good. I there was one case in Hyderabad, I was reading about that. The person had 70 Facebook accounts and over 100 Instagram accounts, and the same person was showing himself as a different personality
Okay.
to deceive people. Now, how um, like difficult it is for someone to track it. And then there was another point that you mentioned, that how people track. So
Right.
it's from someone you get to know, or there is some issue that's there in the privacy settings that you've not figured out. That
Mm.
could be one reason. There can be n number of reasons for that. Somebody sending you screenshots, how much time it takes to take a screenshot and send it further.
Right.
Correct. I keep sometimes if something I like, I just take a screenshot and keep it with myself. Who knows about that?
Right.
Correct.
Right. All right. Wonderful. Okay. So someone has asked in the chat box, did you face any obstacle while pursuing your career in AI? And how did you overcome those obstacles?
um so AI, I would say that it's still started for me. It's
Right.
recently started for me, and there are no obstacles. It's only the learning opportunities that are there.
Okay.
So it's always a new domain for me. So it's something new to learn for me. And the only obstacle comes is our own way of thinking, that I might not be able to do it. If
Correct.
you think that I can do it, even if you learn in 1 year, it's fine. There's something new that you're learning. I
Absolutely.
would.
All right. Perfect. So, Rajshi has asked, do you think it's a tough job for hackers to find loopholes in the security system?
I would say yes and a no. Now,
Okay.
why yes? If you open your house gates and say, come in, anybody can come in. And if you have all the locks in place and the right locks in place, but if you give the key to someone, will they get in? Absolutely, they will get in. But if you have the key securely kept somewhere, nobody can get in. Absolutely, there might be like very slight chances that wherein they can come in. So nobody is 100% secure. Now, with the first scenario,
Mhm.
if you have a very short password, you
Right.
don't have a good password strength, it's easy to crack your password. Or you've kept your password as your friend's name, your parents' name, it's easy to guess it. Then the second thing would be like phishing emails. If you click on phishing emails, type your password, you're giving your key to someone, and then they can get in.
Right.
The third thing, just make sure that you have the multi-factor authentication enabled, your accounts are safe,
Mhm.
and you're doing your side security. And then I'm sure organizations are trying hard to keep your data secure. Now I'll
Correct.
just take a minute, turn off my alarm, and I'll come back. Sorry about that.
No, no, no
Yes,
issue.
please.
All right. So, next question to you is that, has being a woman ever affected you in any way during like your career path, or in cybersecurity? As you mentioned in the beginning, the percentage of women in this sector is extremely low. So, has it ever affected you?
um I would say yes and a no.
All
Now again, why always, so I always have answers for yes and no as well. Why yes? Because always in my teams in the past I was the only girl. Now think about, there's only girl in the team, and uh, sometimes you feel that you want people like you.
Right.
And when you go out and see, there are meetups that happen, like the group meets have happen every month, and then you see you're the only person in the group, and you feel intimidated. And it's not somebody making me intimidated, it's me, like I myself feeling that yes, I might not belong to this group. So
Right.
those were the things that were there, like all those notions that I want people like myself with whom I can be comfortable. But later on I realized that no, you have to be the change if you want to see the change.
Uh-huh.
So I started bringing in more women, connecting with more women, and then now we have a good 4,000 people army to be part of the cybersecurity as part of InfosecGirls. And with STEMM4Girls, I can see that yes, there are so many amazing women who are becoming part of STEM, because
Right.
cybersecurity is part of STEM itself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. Okay. That's so. Rajshri has also asked, what would your suggestions be? How can we educate ourselves more on cybersecurity? So it's kind of
Um,
to the hackers question.
okay, so I would say that the first thing is, the first gate for any social media site is your phone. Secure your phone, have a
Right.
good passcode.
Mhm.
Second thing is enable the security checks, and when you access your app, make sure you have a big password, and then you have a multi-factor authentication, like you have your OTP can be sent to your email. You can use an authenticator app. So there are so many authenticator apps, good authenticator apps which are properly tested. You can use them, so that
Right.
even if somebody gets your password, the other thing cannot be there. Then people are in organizations are enabling biometrics, so you can have your thumbprint, which is always unique. So
Yeah.
if hacker gets to know your password, so I would say this, give a disclaimer that hacker is a positive word. It's not always a negative word, because we all are hackers. It's
Right.
just the malicious attacker, or the malicious person who's trying to get your data.
Correct.
uh, so what I do is I make sure that I don't post my email address everywhere. I don't give it to everyone. I'll be honest, I'm so much paranoid that I don't give my credentials to anyone. And if I want to go to all those shopping sites, because everyone does it, and now we are all remote, so we tend to go, I have a separate account for that. Like, that's email is only used for my shopping sites, and I'm not going to give it to anyone. I have like I have made segregations, that where I want to post my details, what I want to post. And there's one beautiful thing that you said, that universities in US are more being aware about the people are posting something. And I know that there was one case wherein uh, the person was actually got an invite letter from a reputed university, but his candidature was or her candidature was cancelled, because that person posted something long back. So
Correct.
be aware of what you're posting online. It's very important. It's not just for girls, it's not just for boys, it's for everyone.
Absolutely.
Just be aware that don't post anything negative which might impact you yourself. And
Right.
everyone has the right to speech. Everyone has the right to speech, but if we say beautiful words, it's only going to help us in the world.
Right. Absolutely. Wonderful. Okay. So, Rachna has asked, do you have any specific safety advices for those young teenagers who love using social media?
Mhm. uh, just be aware what you're posting. That's the most important thing. And sometimes our surroundings also give the information. Right now, if you're using Instagram, oh, I am at this hotel, I'm going to take a picture and just tag it. On Facebook, oh, even if I'm going to college
Hmm.
or anywhere else, eating out with meeting friends, I'll just post, oh, okay, this is where I'm going, and let the world know. Why do you have to tell the people? You
Right.
just have to go and there, and you yourself are giving in all this information. And let me tell you one thing, anything that you post online, even if you delete that post, it will be there in the archives forever.
Right.
Forever, remember that. Till the time you specifically go to archives.io or Google to say that, can you please delete my post, trust me, it's going to be there forever.
Correct. Correct. Yes, that's actually a very true story because I know someone who had, I think, a who put something on an Instagram account that he had, and he became quite popular. He had some 20,000 followers, and then he deleted that account, and everything's gone. But then somehow on internet he was searching something else up, and somehow one of the posts that he had put on that account around 3 years ago was still available on the internet. And again, as you mentioned, it's so easy to take a screenshot and even an archive. So it was there in both because someone had posted a screenshot of it, and it was also there because in the archives. So as you mentioned that it's very dangerous. Even if you put something, just think about it when you're putting it, rather than deleting it, and then it'll still remain. So there's no point in deleting it.
Right.
Okay, perfect. So Mansi has asked, is it exciting that you're in a field where there's something new to learn every day?
Absolutely. Trust me, it's so amazing. Like, you have to be on toes, and it keeps my brain ticking. Okay, now this is what, like, it doesn't make me feel that I'm old, I would say.
Of course, of course. That's amazing. And anyways, I think we should learn every day. We should learn something new every day. So that's amazing. All right.
That's right.
Someone from the Instagram stickers had asked, what do you think is the future of IoT?
It has a bright future, I would say, because it's the need of the hour, wherein we want to be lazy. I'll be honest. We
Right.
all want to be lazy, and I'll be candid about it, because we want everything handy. Why do we have smartwatches? We don't want to pick up our phones. We
Right.
just want to take calls from our phone. And some, like, the fun part is that the kids around me, I have seen that they enjoy that. That, oh, call is coming on the phone. Like, it's so easy and so handy. Similarly, let's say if we are going out and we want to make sure that our room is cold, chilled before we come home, we enable the AC. But then obviously, when there's something big, there's something new that comes up, it has its own challenges, it has its own flaws, which we have to fix. And
Right.
that's when cybersecurity come into picture. So I'll tell you a funny thing. So my cousin brother bought a zoomer in like there's some chandelier that he got, and that was run through Bluetooth,
Okay.
and there was an easy Bluetooth hack for that. So
Oh,
I was very interested in knowing about that. Like, he's got it and he's like super excited, running all the new songs and that. And I was like, okay, let me try something. So I connected it from my own Bluetooth.
mm,
I ran that script, and for good half an hour, that chandelier was running, and he was all worried that how come it's there. And think about, like, nobody is doing anything, and suddenly you start playing that. It's
right.
spooky. Trust me, it's spooky. So all those challenges are there, and which you have to take care, I would say.
Correct. Absolutely. Okay. So Mansi has asked, do browsers like Tor and DuckDuckGo actually provide the privacy they claim?
Tor, I wouldn't comment. I would be honest. I don't want to comment on Tor. I would say DuckDuckGo, I have used and I like it. And I do use other browsers incognito modes as well.
Mhm.
But I like DuckDuckGo. And then there are a few other things that I use. I have some privacy browsers that I use, which are good. From Firefox is also good.
Okay. Okay. All right. Perfect. So, okay, perfect. So someone
I
else.
think there was one question. Actually, there was one question which I really liked.
Okay.
I'll tell you. Huh? Like, if your password is secure or you have two-factor authentication, why wouldn't you give your email address? I'll tell you something interesting. There was second story which I was telling, that you have everything secured, but you're giving your key to somebody else. So
Right.
phishing email is a very big concern. And phishing emails are nothing but the emails which look legitimate. Let's say you're in school or you're in an organization, and somebody senior sends you email, or your college dean sends you email. Would you open it or not? Obviously, you'll open it. Now, when you open it, it has an attachment. You open the attachment. That attachment has some script which might download something from the internet, and you don't know that that process is is downloading something, and your system gets infected. What will you do?
Mm.
Or even you don't get to know that it's infected, and it's sending all your data to somewhere else, your personal pictures, your data, and whatnot.
Right.
Would you like it?
Obviously
No,
not. Yeah.
I don't like it. So that's the reason.
You don't give your email address. Yeah, makes a lot of
I
sense.
try not to.
Yeah, of course. Okay. So someone from the Instagram stickers had asked that how exactly is a leadership position in cybersecurity? Does it still involve as much as, you know, the coding or the ground level of work that you would do when you just get into it? Or is it more of just managing it?
It needs both. I would say why. See, you need to know the technology. Then only you would be able to lead it. You can support it. There are times when, if there's a security incident, will be called. A CISO will be called. Like that's called, the top leadership is called CISO, Chief Information Security Officer. So you need to be a technical person and a management person as well. Now, why management person? Because you have to handle the fire. That's there, because
Right.
without handling you cannot take a step further. Now, why you need to be on the technical edge as well? Because if you don't know, how will you be able to guide your team that this might be the problem, this is the place where you might be seeing it. So
Hmm.
it becomes very, very important for you to know multiple things. And there are so many things runs in an organization, and CISO is the person who actually tries and captures every place. Like, that person is involved in network security, application security, database security, or in these phishing campaigns. Like,
Right.
most of the organizations I've worked with, they keep running phishing campaigns, so that they keep checking the people. Even the cybersecurity people do all these silly mistakes sometimes, giving away email addresses or passwords or clicking on those links.
Right.
So yes, it's important for them to be versatile.
Absolutely. Okay. So Rajshri has asked, what is your vision for InfosecGirls? Girls?
I would say that when we started off, like when we revived it, we did not have a bigger goal. Like, because when you start a community, you're like, either you you're better than yesterday,
Right.
or you're not. Because unlike an exam, you get the result, either you pass or fail, or you get a, like a supply. But then with the community, you have to keep striving. So with InfoSec Girls, the vision that now we have, as we are growing in different countries. We are growing first in India, because it's important for us to, because our roots are in India. So we want to have more women participating in the forums. We have 80% first time speakers, so we want more speakers coming up. And that's where leaders come into picture, so that they can be buddy speaker. They can buddy them. They can tell them that, okay, uh, if you're not confident, we're going to listen to you. And once somebody speaks a couple of times, they become, trust me, the fear tends to go away
Right.
slowly and steadily. So it happens. And then comes one more point, that we also look for people who might not be in cybersecurity but want to come, students. So we educate them, we train them. So that's the vision, that train more people around cybersecurity. And the people who cannot think that they can be cybersecurity, like old age people, they need to know about the practices, good practices about cybersecurity. Students, the girls in school, or the boys in school, everyone needs to know about it. Students. So we're
Right.
trying to tap those areas. That's the vision that I have. And then there's no single thing that we are tapping. It's just that it keeps on broadening. We keep broadening our horizons.
Right.
So there's something new every day.
Amazing. Amazing. Okay. So Hafsa has asked, do we have the right data governance strategy to minimize cyber risk?
So data governance is something which is specific to every organization.
Correct.
So I would not say that there is one single thing which is there. It depends on every organization, that what their data's governance should be. You need to categorize the data, what's confidential, what's say restricted, how is that. And then based on that, you decide that whether to encrypt that data or not. So it depends on organization to organization. There's no single strategy. There are frameworks, there are standards, or there are policies which are there, and based on that, you take it forward.
Okay. All right. Wonderful. Okay. So both Mansi and Rajshri have the same question, which is, how can we join the InfoSec community?
InfoSec Girls,
Yeah.
there are social media handles, there are so many things which are there, and I can share it in the chat box if you want. And you can join them. You can join the mailing list. We keep sharing that, okay, we've got the pass for this conference, and if you want, you can just mail us. So we had 4 BlackHat passes. BlackHat is one of the biggest conference in cybersecurity. and
Right.
we got the 4 passes and we shared it. I openly asked on Twitter that if somebody wants to, if a student is interested, because those are student passes, so you can send me the details. So we extended it. So we just keep a tab on it, and it will help you. And I'm sure we are always there to support you.
Absolutely.
Let me share the details.
Yeah, yeah.
Meanwhile, you can ask the questions.
Right. Okay. So I think this will be the last question because no one in the chat has any more questions, and this is the last question from the Instagram sticker. So it is that when you're in such a dynamic, setting wherein there's something new to learn every day, do you also feel like you don't know enough? So even in very like it's a very broad range of subjects that can get covered. So do you ever feel like there is so much that I don't know, and what am I doing, especially with even like other kind of subjects like say physics, when it comes to knowing about the universe, same way like here when you're talking about cybersecurity, because the entire like it can expand to different levels and different lengths. So do you ever feel like that?
I do, trust me, and that's called FOMO. That happens to me as well.
Right.
And um, but then I realized that I cannot know everything, and if I want to know everything, first I need to start working on myself. So
Right.
that's what I do. And those FOMOs are there with everyone, trust me, and it's like so common. And then there's something, a term called imposter syndrome, which is there, which we have to avoid. That
Right.
imposter syndrome is actually bringing us down. And I would say that I also have my own demons with
Mm.
whom I fight. But the one thing that what I do is I try and keep myself positive, and
Okay.
I keep reading. I keep investing my time in the things that I like doing. Like I keep connecting with people, doing the trainings, learning something new, and then educating people, connecting on different subjects.
Mm. Mm.
So that keeps me going, makes me uh, think of positive things, then think of the things that I cannot achieve. So there's a nice uh, video that I've gone through, that uh, if you have a problem, can
Mm.
you solve it? Like there was a nice thing, if you can solve it, then solve it. If you cannot solve it, why do you have to worry about it?
Right.
And like all those things. So you just have to be positive, and then you keep learning. Trust me, sky is not the limit.
Absolutely. Okay. So I think Rajshri has asked another question, which is what are the other areas of tech that you would want to branch out in the future?
I would say right now I'm working on
Ma'am, you're frozen. I can't hear you. Can anyone hear her?
No.
Okay. Thanks for that. Okay. I think we'll just wait for her to come back. Thank you, Asta. She's not in the meeting anymore. We'll just wait for her to come back. Okay, ma'am is back. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I can hear you now.
Okay, perfect. So I think there was some internet issues, so never mind. So I'll just repeat the question and then you can continue answering it, which was that what are the other areas of tech that you would want to expand to in the future?
I would say AI and identity and access management for sure.
Okay.
These are two areas which I want to learn more about.
All right, perfect. So thank you so much for being with us, ma'am. It was an absolute honor hosting you. And all of our viewers have also like said thank you for sending all the links. I'm sure a lot of the people that are a part of our forum and have even come for this session will want to be a part of InfosecGirls. So thank you so much for being here. It was an absolute pleasure having you.
Thank you so much. And I'm glad to join all of you. Thank you. Looking forward to connecting with you. Feel free to DM me on Twitter or reach me out on LinkedIn.
Perfect, perfect. I'll just write down your full name so that they can find you. Or I think you've already sent all the links, so I think I'm sure they'll be able to find you there. So thank you so much, ma'am.